Welcome to It's a Parent Podcast, a parenting podcast all about the parents. I'm your host, June Chung. For today's episode, there's no guests, just little old me. Full transparency, I'm trying to figure out how to keep the podcast sustainable for my schedule and my sanity since the show is all self-produced. Juggling work, childcare, life, and podcasting requires some major checks and balances. So the plan is to release an episode every Tuesday. 1 week will be a guest, and the next will be me talking about a parenting topic that's been on my mind. Last episode, I spoke to Darnell Lamont Walker, someone who's lived about 5 lifetimes already. Him saying that parenting never stops, even in adulthood, is a commitment I need to take. And of course, with each stage of adulthood, there's more and more that we can show our kids how to be in that stage of life. So I really enjoyed that talk, and I hope you enjoyed his story as much as I did. Today, I want to talk about what fatherhood means to me. There isn't really one clear definition, is there? Was there ever? I mean, when you picture a dad, are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? Someone who's the breadwinner, authoritative, fixes cars, good with tools, and is emotionally unavailable? That definition is melting away, for me at least. I'm not the breadwinner, but I hope I can be someday. I'm a children's television writer, and my wife's a nurse, so she's making the big bucks for now. I can be authoritative, but I know that'll ebb and flow. I can only be the bad cop so many times. I know nothing about cars, but I can show you how to get uptown on the subway. I wish I was good with tools, but I don't need to fix as much stuff around the house. I'm a renter. And emotionally unavailable? I might be with my daughter, but at least in my marriage, I try to be open. I probably cry more than my wife. Does that make me any less of a dad? I don't think so. Right? Just kidding. Fatherhood isn't as landlocked as it used to be, which is pretty freeing. The more dads I talk to, like the ones I talk to on this podcast, are shifting my thoughts on what a dad is capable of. They're changing diapers, picking up their kids when they cry, playing around, raising their kids as best they can. Most importantly, they are being present. I hope we're redefining fatherhood. We can do it, and we do it well. What's the phrase? We carry multitudes. R.I.P. Walt Whitman. Being a dad takes practice, and we're putting in our 10,000 hours. This isn't anything revolutionary, but fatherhood probably ties back to manhood and the associations with what men are expected or allowed to do in our society. And I'm talking U.S. society, Western culture. I'm not sure how the rest of the world equates fatherhood, but for me, here, now, I'll just speak to that. The man who can be more nurturing without getting the side eye from his friends or family is a big deal. Acceptance and feeling acknowledged, not shunned, is a big deal. And I'm grateful to my circle for accepting all of me. That acceptance oozes into me and allows me to live without shame or embarrassment. Eventually, my daughter will be embarrassed by my antics, my quirkiness, but it's my job to live honestly. It would be very confusing to live one way in the house, playful, dancing, acting a fool, but out in public if I were to all of a sudden be embarrassed to do those things. My daughter would get confused. Are men not supposed to do that out in public? Are men not supposed to be this way? Are fathers supposed to be closed off? No, I need to be both the same in the house and out of the house. I like watching dads and not dads be a bit more sensitive, more playful, more expressive online. Sure, it may be performative. I mean, who isn't? But the messaging out there is trying to pierce through the tough exterior. There's a group called Brooklyn Stroll Club, filled with fashionable dads, kids strapped to their chests and strollers by their side. Just dads trying to find other dads and be dads who do dad things. There's a tough-looking guy like The Rock showing how his daughters draw makeup up and down his head, and that is a powerful image. I wonder what the videos would look like if The Rock had a son, though. I hope he'd be okay with showing love. A friend asked if I'd be the same parent if I had a son. I'd hope so, but there might be a shift. I might be a bit firmer, maybe more expectant of him to pick himself back up instead of me picking him up. I'd have to remind myself how sensitive or scared I was as a child, that just because my son is a boy doesn't make him any less of a boy if he cries. I would love to figure out how he can emotionally self-regulate and be in touch with those feelings so that he could express it to others, so he can get help. But let's set aside this imaginary son and focus on what I am raising, a daughter. For my daughter, I think it's important to give her the tools that society will want to tear away at her, like self-worth, boundaries, bodily autonomy, what success means, and so on. And that's just what I'm seeing. So I'll have to lean on my wife to reveal any blind spots I might have. And sure, there are specific things I could teach her, like how to play volleyball, how to play the clarinet, maybe, and so on. But really, I want to give her a mindset so that whatever she pursues, she will accomplish or explore with full confidence. And this all leads to how fatherhood ties into my relationship with my wife. Changing diapers, feeding the baby her bottle, cooking dinner, washing the dishes, and the other so-called domestic tasks that are usually done by the mother and the wife. I've been doing it also. I mean, it's not because I love my daughter so much, it's because I love my wife and I want to lift those burdens off her. I took 3 months off for paternity leave. Yes, I bonded with my daughter. She did say appa in that time, which means dad, so that's a proud dad moment. But I also got a better understanding of the ups and downs of childcare that my wife went through when she was on maternity leave. I empathized with her ups and downs. On her part, she trusted me to be by myself to take care of our daughter. And my fatherhood is made possible by my wife giving me that permission to be a father. So thank you, wife. Of course, I'm speaking in terms of the more traditional gender roles of parenting, but whatever your family structure is, I hope we can do away with labels and start asking who's the main diaper changer, who's the main rule enforcer, who's the one who does chores around the house, etc. Because I know dads who are the cleaner, who is the one that makes the food, who is the stay-at-home dad. And they all approach it head on with enthusiasm and with excitement. It's really cool to say. The best I can do is stay curious and present. That's something I admire about my dad. He may not have given me constant praise like I so wanted. I mean, that's why I'm a comedian and I'm making up for it through others. But he was there during my highs, like high school plays, volleyball games here and there, and sports banquets, despite being a small business owner working long hours. It would have been great if I turned out to be a doctor or a lawyer. I had the grades for it, but I took another path. I don't remember how the conversation started, but after I decided not to pursue either of those careers, he said something like, doctors deal with sick people all the time. You don't want to do that. And lawyers, they have to lie to do their job. I don't like that anyway. He gave me his blessing in his own way, and that's what I want to give my daughter. Okay, next week's guest is Mike Wynn. Until then, it's apparent you're doing great. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and give us a 5-star review. It's Apparent Podcast is produced and edited by June Chung. The show logo was designed by Shabazzle, and the theme song was produced by Ish D.